From season 3, episode 9, Revelations chapter 1 definitely hit us with some revelations. But are the answers not as clear as we think? Let's talk about it. From season 3, episode 9, spoilers ahead. Alright, so in the latest episode of From, after a few close encounters with Victor, Tabitha starts having visions or flashbacks of things she has no business knowing about. She saw Miranda hugging a young Victor and Eloise in the cellar. And then she sees Miranda running towards the faraway tree, and she's stopped and seemingly unalived right there by Smiley. So what does this mean? Many people are taking this as confirmation that she is Miranda reincarnated, and I have to admit, as someone who has been on the Tabitha equals Miranda reincarnated bandwagon for a long time, I jumped right to that conclusion. But let me play devil's advocate here and try to convince you that maybe it's not as clear as we think. In our recent podcast coverage of episode 9, 3 of our hosts immediately said this means the reincarnation theory with Tabby and Miranda is true. But one said, oh, I actually took it as confirmation that Tabby is either Eloise reincarnated or actually Eloise. That statement stopped me in my tracks because I've been against the Eloise theory for a while, but let's think about this for a second. Again, devil's advocate here. Tabitha started having these strong visions and revelations this episode after brushing Victor's shoulder at the church and then hugging him in the cellar. Are we to assume her touching Victor triggered these visions? But why would that be true? Because we know that Tabitha has touched Victor before and even hugged him before going into the faraway tree back in the prior season. We can't really say it's the location that triggered it because yes, her vision of Eloise and Victor receiving the hug from Miranda occurred in the cellar, but why wouldn't she have gotten the vision of Miranda being unalived by Smiley when she hugged Victor at that exact location last season? Could it be because the connection isn't Miranda, but it's actually Eloise? The POV in the hugging vision could have been interpreted as Eloise's POV, and we know Eloise ran after her mother when her mother left the cellar. Did Eloise chase after Miranda and it was actually Eloise's POV of her watching Smiley attacking Miranda? Now, I do admit here, my argument about why it wouldn't be Miranda could easily be used against me about why it wouldn't be Eloise, but I can't deny that the POVs and the visions Tabitha saw were a little funky. To be completely honest, I'm still against Tabitha being Eloise or Tabitha being Eloise reincarnated for one main reason, and I think it's because Eloise is still alive and has a part to play in this story. Victor said she was the best hide-and-seeker he's ever played with, and he could never find her. It's possible that she was able to hide from the monsters and then something happened to her to allow her to live on. Could her living technically mean she somehow left Fromville, forgot everything, became Tabitha, returned to Fromville, and then is going to remember she's Eloise? I mean, I guess, but that's a lot to explain to us. My thoughts here are that there may be no better explanation than this was probably just Tabitha's time to finally realize, and it will be explained more in Revelations Part 2, hopefully, and we will most likely find out that Episode 9 was the beginning of Tabitha realizing she is Miranda reincarnated. What did you guys think of the revelations in this episode? Let me know in the comments.